Hello, it's Yals, and we are out in the streets of Joburg with Sanlam having confidence chat. Today, we want to know if you've got your will in place. So let's go. Have you heard of any family disputes or drama when it comes to wills or any other like family disputes when it comes to estate planning?
Yeah, been involved in one myself, so kind of familiar with how things go. Can get quite contested.
Unfortunately, yes. I think from like a friend. Basically, one of the parents passed on. They didn't know that they had siblings, so it was one of those like now you must divide everything. So it was really the person who died left the people who are alive with problems.
Yes, no, I've heard quite a lot, of those stories, some of them very tragic, people fighting over estates, houses, cars, investment, jewelry over.
I have heard of such stories. Definitely, yeah.
Do you have a will, or are you hoping your family will split your legacy, your assets, or your belongings evenly?
I consider myself very young. I don't really have assets to my name as well. I don't feel like it's necessary at my current age to basically have a will.
I currently don't have an active one, but, informally they know if something was to happen, God forbid, they know how to allocate those assets, whatever that I own.
Definitely, I have a will. From a young age, I was introduced to financial planning, and I think it is wise for every young person to have a will.
Yes, I do have a will for myself.
What do you think is stopping other people from drafting wills?
I suppose some people maybe don't know or what the right way is to draw up a will.
I suspect that people are reluctant to think about death, one, but also I think it's about information. And just getting it out to people, the importance of having one, and that it's not as costly as people think it is.
What's stopping you from drafting a will right now?
Obviously, the cost of drafting, it doesn't come cheap, and other things like what do you put into the will, and who's going to execute it, you need to have somebody who's going to execute it. And I think in our culture, things like that they don't really happen.
I don't have anything like, besides like sentimental things, I don't really, like a proper estate or even like an estate myself, I don't have one because I'm still a dependent. So I don't want to pay the unnecessary fees because I don't have anything to my name.
Have you discussed wills and estate planning with your family?
Oh, yes, I have. Normally have informal discussions over anything, and we haven't tied it down, but yeah, we do have those discussions.
Yep, I have. Slightly forced by my wife.
Definitely. So I am a law graduate and I have informed my parents about that. As Black people, it's like, no, now you want me to die. And it's like, no, I just want you to be prepared.
So unfortunately, both my parents have passed on, and I was very young at the time, and I would have appreciated if they sat me down at an early age and discussed, what happens with a will, why do we do a will?
Would you say cultural beliefs influence how wills are perceived?
Definitely. I can't speak for everyone, but from what I've seen, yes.
Quite a lot in our culture, I think it's only people getting it now. There's taboos around and myths around drafting a will, amongst certain cultures, even our own culture.
I think culture influences one's disposition about life. So I think we have a way of taking care of things when people are gone. So I think that kind of creates a buffer and expectation.
Yeah, I think it depends what culture you are from.
Who do you think needs to have a will?
Anyone has income, assets, I think needs a will.
Anyone, actually, as long as you're alive, you own something, whether it's small or big, but mostly people who've got assets and they know that when they pass on, somebody has to execute and share those assets equally amongst family members.
Everyone that owns assets or money, as soon as you are at the age of adulthood.
If you do have assets, preferably anyone above the age of 27.
In the unfortunate event that you do pass away without a will, what do you think is actually going to happen to everything you currently own?
There's a principle, though it's not written, there's no will, that whoever, in a family, whoever passes on, we know what he owns, we know what the liabilities are. So I think it will be equally shared amongst whoever's been left behind, and it will be fair.
Legally, I think it's going to go to the States.
I do currently have a will in place, so I know that my things will go to my loved ones.
I would hope that my wife would determine what would need to happen, but I've heard of too many stories to think that would happen as smoothly as I would hope it would. So that's why I have a will.
Now that you've heard from different perspectives, are you going to start writing your will? Or maybe you have it already. I'll see you on our next Confidence Chats.